Imagine waking up one fine morning, stretching out, and not having to worry about whether your car is still in the driveway or if your identity has been stolen overnight. Sounds like the start of a utopian novel, right? But hold on, let's not get ahead of ourselves. A world without crime isn't all sunshine and rainbows. It's kind of like a double-edged sword. On one hand, sure, it's a relief to know that no one's going to run off with your favorite garden gnome. But on the other hand, a crimeless world might just leave a bunch of us twiddling our thumbs, wondering what to do with all our free time. Why, you ask? Well, consider this. If there's no crime, what happens to all those jobs we've built around preventing, solving, and punishing it? Lawyers might have to trade their suits for aprons and start baking cookies. Police officers could be out there directing traffic, or worse, out of work and joining the neighborhood watch for fun. Security companies might have to pivot and start selling fluffy teddy bears instead of alarm systems. And let's spare a thought for our friendly neighborhood locksmith. Without the fear of break-ins, who's going to need locks? They might have to switch from picking locks to picking apples at the local orchard. And let's not forget about the insurance companies. Without crime, their theft protection policies would be as useful as a chocolate teapot. They might have to start insuring against things like alien abductions or spontaneous human combustion. So while a world without crime sounds like a dream come true, it might just turn into a weird nightmare where we're all unemployed and living in unlocked houses. But hey, every cloud has a silver lining, right? So in a world without crime, we might all be jobless, but hey, at least we won't need those pesky locks on our doors. Imagine walking down a dark alley at midnight without the slightest hint of fear. Picture this. There you are, strolling down the murky pathway, not a care in the world. The only thing you're worried about is whether you'll trip over a stray cat or step on a banana peel, like in those old slapstick comedies. Now let's move to another hilarious scenario. It's a bright sunny day, you're heading out, and you leave your front door wide open. Not just unlocked, mind you, but wide open. You might as well put up a sign that says, "Hey, I'm out, feel free to come in, just don't let the cat out." In this crime-free world, the biggest risk you'd face is your neighbor's dog sneaking in to steal the leftover lasagna. And speaking of leftovers, imagine going to your favorite restaurant. You've ordered way too much food, as always, and decide to leave the leftovers on the table for a moment while you use the restroom. In our current world, leaving your food unattended is like sending out engraved invitations to opportunistic thieves. But in a world without crime, the only thing you'd have to worry about is your food getting cold. Let's not forget about those late-night wanderings. In our crime-free world, you could roam the streets at any hour, wearing your most expensive jewelry and carrying your latest tech gadgets. The biggest concern? Probably tripping over your own feet because you're too engrossed in your phone, completely oblivious to your surroundings. And what about those long queues at the airport security? Imagine breezing through without having to take off your shoes, empty your pockets, or explain why you're carrying a full-size bottle of shampoo. The most significant threat in this scenario? Missing your flight because you're too busy laughing at the absurdity of it all. Midnight strolls and unlocked doors, the ideal world. Or is it? Now, a crimeless world might sound perfect, but imagine the unintended consequences. So we're living in this utopia where everyone's a law-abiding citizen. But what's life without a little bit of thrill, right? With no crime to spice things up, we might just resort to inventing some ridiculously hilarious crimes just to keep things interesting. Imagine this, you're walking down the street, minding your own business when suddenly you're apprehended by the cops. Your crime? Wearing mismatched socks? Oh, the horror. In a world without crime, fashion faux pas might just land you in jail. You have the right to remain stylish. Anything you wear can and will be used against you in the court of fashion. And let's not forget the foodies amongst us. If you thought the pineapple on pizza debate was heated before, just wait until it becomes a punishable offense. Pizza purists would have a field day. Officer, I'd like to report a crime. Yes, my neighbor just ordered a pineapple pizza. I have photographic evidence. Let's not even get started on the grammar police. They'd probably be patrolling social media, handing out sentences for every misplaced apostrophe and every instance of your instead of your. And what about those who insist on using their phone in the cinema? In a world without crime, that's a capital offense. I swear, officer, I was just checking the time. Sure, buddy, sure. And think about all the lawyers. With no crime, they'd probably be out of work, right? Nope. They'd be defending people accused of using too many emojis in their texts or putting the milk in before the tea. So, while a crimeless world might seem like the dream, without the thrill of a little mischief, we might just end up in a world that's even more absurd than the one we're in now. In a world without crime, fashion police might become actual police. So what would our new world order look like? Well, let's start with the governments. In a world without crime, they would need a serious rebranding. No longer would they be the stern, disciplinarian parents of society. Instead, they'd transform into a jolly, ever-smiling uncle who shows up at your door with a fruit basket saying, "No need to worry, my dear, the world is as peaceful as a sleeping baby panda." Police departments? Oh, they would have a field day. Instead of chasing robbers and solving mysteries, they'd be coordinating neighborhood bake-offs and refereeing the annual Who Has the Best Lawn competition. Imagine the thrill of a high-speed pursuit for the last pumpkin pie on Thanksgiving. And let's not even get started on the lawyers. They would have to find new ways to keep themselves occupied. Perhaps they'd become professional arguers, debating over the critical issues of our time, like whether pineapple truly belongs on pizza or if the toilet paper roll should go over or under. In the world of entertainment, our beloved crime TV shows would undergo a dramatic transformation. Law and Order would turn into Law and Order Tea Negotiation Unit, where the biggest scandal might involve someone serving Earl Grey instead of English breakfast. Breaking Bad would become Breaking Bread, a heartwarming tale of a schoolteacher turned artisanal baker, and Sherlock Holmes, more like Sherlock Holmes, a riveting drama about a detective who helps people find their lost keys. And just picture this, the grand finale of CSI Crime Scene Investigation, where the investigators spend 45 minutes figuring out who forgot to replace the milk in the fridge. Riveting stuff, I tell you. In this new world order, the most suspenseful episode of a crime show might be about a missing sandwich. The plot twist? It was in the fridge all along, hiding behind yesterday's leftover lasagna. Oh, the drama, the suspense, the utter lack of criminal activity. In our new world order, the most suspenseful episode of a crime show might be about a missing sandwich. As we wrap up this absurd journey, let's summarize our crime-free world. We began by imagining a world scrubbed clean of all crime, where everyone always remembered to return their library books on time and jaywalking was a relic of a bygone era. It was a world so safe you could leave your front door wide open and your only worry would be a squirrel making off with your favorite pair of slippers. We then dove into some hilarious daily life scenarios. Picture this, a world where your biggest fear is being attacked by a rogue shopping cart, or where the most scandalous thing you could do is take 2 samples at the grocery store instead of 1. We imagined a world where the most dangerous weapon is a sharp wit, and where the most heinous crime is telling a dad joke without a proper license. Moving on, we laughed at the unintended consequences of this utopia. Without crime, our beloved detective shows would be reduced to intense battles of Scrabble, and the nightly news would be filled with riveting tales of lost kittens found and epic battles for the last parking space at the mall. We then glimpsed into the new world order, where the most powerful people are those with the best knock-knock jokes, and where the only breaking and entering involves a toddler and a cookie jar. In this wild ride of a world, the most dangerous thing might just be a pun gone wrong. Can you imagine? A misplaced pun could lead to an outbreak of uncontrollable laughter, causing a public disturbance. A world where pun control is a serious political issue, and pun slingers are the new outlaws. In conclusion, a world without crime might not be as ideal as it sounds, especially for the pun lovers among us. But hey, at least we'd all be laughing our way through life, one pun at a time. Just remember, in this world, always be careful not to pun out of control.